Hi, I'm Sandee Moore, Director and Curator of the Art Gallery of Regina, and I'm going to go through a few of the questions you may have about our upcoming show and sale, and also walk you through the guidelines and entry process through our website. So I've got a printed out copy of our member show and sale guidelines here, and if you go to our website, www.artgalleryofregina.ca, you will find our guidelines online. Go to the show and sale page, member show and sale up here. And here there's important dates as well, the button to do your online submission. And there's also a photo gallery here. So if you don't want to download the PDF version of the show and sale guidelines, you can just look at the images here. So the first page of the member show and sale guidelines are dates to remember. So February 7th is when our submissions opened. March 10th is the entry deadline. That's March 10th at midnight. If you are not able to make the deadline, please give us a call or an email at 306-522-5940 or info@artgalleryofregina.ca. April 3rd from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. is the artwork drop-off day. April 10th is the first day of the member show and sale. April 12th from 1 to 4 p.m. will be our opening reception. So all of the artists, friends, family, and the public are invited to come to that and celebrate with us. May 14th will be the last day of the exhibition. And May 15th from noon to 5 is the artwork pickup day. We only accept submissions using our online entry form. That's on our website, www.artgalleryofregina.ca/members-show-and-sale. And if you are experiencing difficulties, you can't use a computer. I talked to someone the other day who was using their phone, and it's really challenging to fill out the form on their phone. So please get in touch with us, myself or Madeline at the Art Gallery of Regina. Again, you can give us a call, 306-522-5940, or an email, info@artgalleryofregina.ca, and we'll help you complete that entry form. So these are the member show and sale guidelines. So there's the cover, the dates to remember that I mentioned. And then the first question is, who can submit artwork to the Art Gallery of Regina's member show and sale? The individual must be 18 years of age and older. They must be a resident of Saskatchewan, and they must be a current member of the Art Gallery of Regina in good standing. So that means that your membership for the year should be paid up at the time that you submit your entry form. It costs $40 plus PST for a yearly membership to the Art Gallery of Regina. And if you want to purchase or renew your membership or just check on the status of your membership, you can give us a call at 306-522-5940. You can also purchase your membership online, artgalleryofregina.ca/memberships, or visit us in person at 2420 Elphinstone Street. What can you submit to the members show and sale? You can submit artwork in any or every category. All of the artwork that you submit must be your own original creation, so not a copy of another artist's work or not artwork made from a kit. The person submitting the work must be the creator of the artwork, so you can't submit your friend's work for them. If you made your artwork in a class or a workshop, that's totally fine. A-okay. And all artwork submitted must be for sale. So if there's something you really love and you want to show off, unfortunately, the Art Gallery of Regina's member show and sale is not the venue for that. Because it's a fundraiser for the Art Gallery of Regina, everything must be for sale. And we have 5 categories. We simplified our categories recently. Wall work. This is primarily two-dimensional artworks framed or on canvas that can hang from a single nail. and the limit is 2 wall works per entrant. And I'll go into some more details on the limitations of what you can submit as wall work. I had someone contact me recently asking if they could submit textiles to the wall work, but they're not on a stretcher, they're not framed. That's fine as long as there is a hanging apparatus so that they can hang from a single nail. Works on paper. These are unframed items, prints, photographs, drawings, etc. on paper, and they are loose in a bin for browsing. So there's special ways that you need to prepare those to make sure that they're going to survive intact. And the limit on works on paper is 6 per entrant. We also have a category called table work. This is primarily two-dimensional artworks sized up to 15 inches, so maximum 15 inches in any direction. And they are displayed on tabletop easels, and we have a limit of 1 per entrant. Again, more on this in a bit. Small pedestal work. This is primarily three-dimensional work that is under 12 inches in all directions in any media not suitable for wall hanging. And the limit is 6 per entrant. Then we have large pedestal work, primarily three-dimensional work over 12 inches in any direction in any media not suitable for wall hanging, and the limit is 3 per entrant. So you can submit artworks in any or all of those categories. Wall work guidelines, primarily two-dimensional works that are framed or on canvas or cradleboard and prepared to hang from a single nail. So if your artwork doesn't fit these criteria, but you still believe it could be hung from a single nail on the wall, go ahead and submit it. You might want to check with the gallery just to be sure. And again, you can call us or email us to confirm that. The limits are 2 per entrant. They also must be one continuous piece, so no diptychs, triptychs, or other joined or non-joined groupings. And this is because our whole member show and sale, which includes approximately 400 artworks, is hung by volunteers. And so we want to make it as easy on those volunteers as we can, because we appreciate all that they do for us. Wall works can be no larger than 40 inches in any dimension, 15 pounds maximum, and must be prepared for hanging from a single nail. And I'll explain a little bit more about this later, but this means that there should be a hanging wire. The artwork must also be clean, free from stains and smudges, fully dry. The frame should be clean and sturdy. Canvas stretchers and support should not be warped or loose. So I've seen a few, especially if people buy lower quality stretch canvases that have very thin stretcher bars, they will warp and twist and the painting will kind of curve away from the wall. So we don't want anything like that. All pieces must be well attached and there should be no broken or damaged work. Fragile surfaces such as pastel or charcoal should be fixed with spray fixative, and work must be prepared for hanging using wires and D-rings. More on that later. You can attach your business card to the back, or you can use the Art Gallery of Regina's labels. Works on paper. These are unframed items, prints, photographs, drawings on paper that are loose in a bin for browsing. And you can see we have a photograph of our bin right here. And so imagine all of these unframed works on paper artworks slotted in there so people can flip through them. We also have an image in our guidelines of a work that is prepared for that bin. So you can see that they're, in addition to putting a sturdy card on the back, they've put a mat on the front to provide extra stiffness. And the whole thing has been wrapped in plastic film. So not plastic wrap, it's like a cellophane. So works on paper guidelines, of course, this is unframed items, prints, photographs, drawings, etc. on paper, loose in a bin for browsing. Back your works on paper with sturdy cardboard and wrap in plastic. Do not mount or adhere your artworks to the board. And 23 by 30 inches is the maximum size for this category. And you can submit up to 6 works on paper. Again, the works must be clean, free from stains and smudges, fully dry, complete, so not unfinished. Fragile surfaces such as pastel or charcoal should be fixed with spray fixative. They should be undamaged, and you can attach your business card or the Art Gallery of Regina's labels to the back. We also have a category called a table work. These are small artworks that are displayed on tabletop easels and can include small paintings, photographs, and other artwork that is mostly two-dimensional. If you supply your own easel, ensure that the easel is marked so that we can return it to you at the end of the show. So primarily, this is another category for two-dimensional artworks that are framed or on stretched canvas, and they must be 15 inches or smaller in all dimensions. The limits are 1 per entrant, and these should also be one continuous piece, so no triptychs, diptychs, or other joined or non-joined groupings, and size cannot exceed 15 inches in any dimension. Your work must be clean, fully dry. Frames should be clean and sturdy. Canvas stretchers and supports should not be warped or loose. All pieces must be well attached. No damaged or broken work will be accepted. It should be completed, so not unfinished work. Fragile surfaces should be fixed. Business cards can be attached to the back, and it should be ready to be hung by the purchaser. So you don't need to include a hanging wire on your work that will be displayed on a tabletop easel, but it should be ready for the person who purchases it to hang it on their wall. So you could include D-rings and a hanging wire or other hanging hardware for their purposes. Now, this 2D artwork is actually pretty small, 10 inches all around. So it could actually count towards the table work category. And tabletop works will be displayed on an easel like one of these. And in that case, you don't need the hanging wire, and you don't need the label that flips over to the front. You just need to have one label that's fairly permanently attached to the back. This one actually has underneath, can I get that off? A sticker made by the artist, and that's been stuck on there for really a long time, about 20 years or more. However, you can stick a label on that has all the necessary information, your name, the artwork title. The label should have all the necessary information, your name, the artwork title, the medium, dimensions, and the price before taxes. So this one is 10 by 10, so it could go in the tabletop category, and it could go on a little easel like this one. We also have plate stands, so it could go on, probably not this plate stand, and maybe not this plate stand either. So these would both come through and press on the back of the canvas. So we would put it on an easel like this one. We have a couple of tables set up with small artworks that are displayed on easels and stands, but we have a limited number. So if you have your own easel, we encourage that. If you do bring your own easel to display your artwork, make sure that you write your name on your easel so we can return it to you with any unsold artworks at the end of the show and sale. Small pedestal work. So we have simplified our categories, and this is one that we've really radically simplified. So small pedestal work includes jewelry, pottery, fiber art, sculpture, and three-dimensional work not suitable for wall hanging. Should be 12 inches or under in all dimensions. The limits are 6 small pedestal works per entrance. Jewelers are encouraged to provide their own display stands and direct the display of their work. Once again, work must be in sellable condition, so clean, free of stains and smudges, thoroughly dried or fired, made from stable materials that will not readily break or degrade. All pieces must be well attached. Pottery should be free from cracks or damage. Label pottery that is not food safe. That is, if it's intended for food service. If special care is required, include care instructions and items with packaging, and business cards can be submitted with items to be placed next to the artwork on the pedestals. Finally, large pedestal work. This also includes a range of three-dimensional practices, pottery, sculpture, textiles, and other three-dimensional work not suitable for wall hanging. And this would be work that is over 12 inches in any dimension. The limits on this category are 3 large pedestal works per entrant. The work must be able to sit safely on a pedestal. So jewelry and other forms of wearable art are another category in the Art Gallery of Regina show and sale. So jewelry and other forms of wearable art are accepted into the Art Gallery of Regina's show and sale, and for the most part, they will fall under the small pedestal work category. We do have some display items for jewelry or, as I said, other wearable works of art, for example, scarves. We have these velvet stands for necklaces or scarves, potentially brooches as well. However, these are a little bit old. They've been used for lots of show and sales, so you can see that this one here is taped in the back. So oftentimes they're not in the best shape. So for that reason, that we recommend jewelers and other folks who want to show jewelry or wearable artworks that are quite small and need to be shown on a form, that they provide their own. And make sure that your name is on it clearly so we can return it to you with any unsold artworks at the end of the show and sale. And you can see this one, although it's been taped, it's really in such a shape that, well, maybe it'll stand up now. So we also have earring stands. We have just plain black ones that look like this, and then we have these really fun and funky ones that are like a little person. This one has room to hang 4 earrings from. So we do have some display items, but we encourage you to provide your own so that your jewelry or the other wearable art that you're showing really has a chance to shine, and it really conveys the whole look and feel that you want for that artwork. As well, for these small artworks, small pedestal works, as well for the small pedestal works, we try as much as possible to show these artworks in a pedestal that has a glass vitrine top so that somebody can't just reach in and pick out these small but fairly high price point items. We don't always have enough room to put all the small pedestal work under a vitrine top, in which case we will place the highest value items under a vitrine top. Finally, we especially invite our jewelry artists to participate in the installation of their work because they know how they want their displays to look, and we recognize how important that is to you. So the Art Gallery of Regina will be emailing those people who submit jewelry to the show and sale to participate in the final arrangement of those items when we get to that point. Not something that is too large or too precarious to be placed on top of a pedestal. The size cannot exceed 25 inches in any dimension and cannot exceed 20 pounds. The work must be in sellable condition, so clean, free from stains, smudges, thoroughly dried or fired, made from stable materials. All pieces must be well attached. Pottery should be free from cracks or damage. Label your pottery if it is not food safe. Business cards can be submitted with items to be placed next to artwork on pedestals. How to submit. To enter, simply fill in the online submission form with your personal details and artwork label information. You do not need a Gmail account to fill out the form, so you just need any email address. The show and sale submission form is available at www.artgalleryofregina.ca member show and sale. We have a YouTube video from 2023 that is linked here. The deadline is March 10th at midnight. You can also email us your photographs. There's a question in there, we'll get to that, about how you want to provide photographs of your work, and that includes also permitting the gallery to take photos on your behalf. And I'm just going to start the entry form. Okay, so this is what the entry form looks like when you follow that Google link. Says at the top you can attach images to this form. I think only certain users, those with Gmail addresses, are able to attach images. You are more than welcome to send images of your artwork to info@artgalleryofregina.ca or use a file sharing service such as WeTransfer or Google Drive. You could also deliver your photographs of your artwork to the gallery on a USB drive on the artwork drop-off day, which is April 3rd, 2025. And we also provide an option for the gallery to take your photographs for you. So first of all, you're going to enter your email address. You're going to be asked twice, and that's because one of these is for contacting you, and one of them is just to provide an identifier for your application. All right, so now I'm going to type my name in, and I'm going to put my email in again. You should put in your full mailing address. So that includes the city, province, and postal code. And your phone number as well. We need your full mailing address because we send payments and tax receipts by mail. So we're going to need to mail those to you. And phone numbers, sometimes questions or concerns come up unexpectedly. So we want to be able to get in touch with you, and phone number is the best way for us to do that. What categories will you be entering your artworks in? So hopefully you know this already. I'm just going to put something in small pedestal work. Here, the next page is wall work information. And this is how we want you to enter your information. So what you enter here on the online entry form, we actually get this as a spreadsheet, and then we can kind of basically just press a button and get all of our labels printed from there. So make sure you take proper care when you're typing your information here. Okay, so we start with your name, the artwork title, the medium, size in inches, and price. So the example that we have here is name, Mandy Warhol, title, Marilyn Monroe, medium, oil on canvas, size, 20 inches by 25 inches, and price, $200. And this is a good time to mention a couple of things about price. One is we have minimum and maximum prices for the show and sale. So our minimum price is $15, maximum price is $800. Again, this is a fundraiser for the gallery. While we recognize that many people make artworks that are worth more than $800, that is not what folks who come to our show and sale want to spend. So 30% of the sales proceeds go to the gallery as a donation. Anything less than $15 is also doesn't really sufficiently help the gallery. So that's why we have a minimum price as well. Do not add the taxes in. We will add the taxes in. So just provide the base price with no taxes. And you'll see there's two fields here, wall work number 1, wall work number 2, because that's the maximum for that category. The next page is table work information. So this is if you were going to submit work to be displayed on a tabletop easel. The maximum number of submissions here is 1, and that is how many fields you have to answer. Because I'm not submitting anything in this category, I'm just going to leave it blank and click next. Works on paper. This is one of the most popular categories. We really see these flying out of the bin. One of the reasons is they tend to have a lower price point because they do not include a frame. We all know how costly framing is, so the purchaser can then get the artwork framed the way they want. They're not paying for the frame, especially if the frame isn't exactly what they would like. So there's 6 places to enter your information here. Again, since I'm not applying to this category, I'm leaving all these fields blank and just going next. Large pedestal work. So this is for large work, primarily sculpture and other 3D work that is more than 12 inches in any direction. There are some maximum sizes and weights. And you can submit 3 to this category. And then finally, this is what I am submitting to, the small pedestal work, artworks that are under 12 inches in all dimensions. And some things, especially jewelry, might have different kind of ways of describing the dimensions. So you'll see in our example here, Gus Klimt, the Kiss necklace, garnet, sterling silver, 10-inch chain. $75, and Freddie Kahlo, the water gave me this cup, fired porcelain, 15 inches diameter, $100. So those are great ways of describing the dimensions of those work using the most common ways of noting it in those media. So I'm going to type in my information. So first of all, my name, and I just pressed Shift and return to do a line break there. And now I can enter the title of my artwork. And now the media or materials. And now the dimensions. In inches, and then my price. And I'm going to do the same for my other one. And that's all I am submitting. So there, next, and that was the last of the categories, but you're not done yet. So here's images, guidelines, and drop-off information. So share photographs of each artwork you submitted through this form, or provide them by email or file sharing service, or you can give us a USB drive or ask the gallery to take your photos. Photographs are used for show and sale promotion, which includes our online artwork sales page. And I'm just going to go back to here and show you currently we have artworks for sale in our outside the box sale page. And so this is what it will also look like when we get to the members show and sale. So that's why it's important that we have photographs of all the artworks. Please provide photographs that are clear, straight, and best represent your artwork. We are happy to take photographs for you. However, this is also a job done by volunteers. So if you think your photographs will represent your artwork the best, we prefer for you to take your own photographs. We also appreciate receiving properly named file images. I know this can be challenging, especially if you've taken photos and are sending them from your phone. One of the things that creates the most work for us is trying to match up the photos we received with the artworks. There's a couple of tutorials on our Member Show and Sale webpage that will kind of show you how to rename your photos. Okay, and we recommend labeling your photographs with consecutive numbers, with your name, the title of the artwork, what it is, and the price. You have some options here to click off. I've submitted images of each piece of artwork labeled in the following format, and there it is. Number, artist name, title, medium price, and all photographs are clear, straight, and best represent my work. So yes, I've emailed my attachments to info@artgalleryofregina.ca. So if you're going to do this, you can just go ahead and click that right now. If you are sending them by a file sharing service such as WeTransfer or Google Drive, then click that one off. If you want instead to deliver your images on a USB drive on the drop-off day, which is April 3rd, then click that one off. If you want the gallery to take your photos for you, you can click that one. And then finally, if you don't want to have your artwork included in the online exhibition or online sales page, then you can select that option as well. So I'm going to select the first option because I'm going to send my photos via email. So even though it says I have emailed, we'll just say, yes, I'm going to do that very next thing. I usually try and make sure that I let people know that I received their images, but again, we do receive a lot of these. So, if you don't hear from us, probably no reason for concern. I have read and agreed to abide by the guidelines, and there's a link to the webpage, and I understand that my label information will appear as I have written and that no changes can be made after I submit this form. So if you do want to make significant changes, remove an artwork, add another one, and so on, I suggest that you just start a whole new form. The newer form have everything total that you want to submit. So maybe you submitted 3 artworks a week ago, and this week you decided you wanted to add a 4th, put all 4 in the next submission form. I confirm that I am the copyright holder and artist creator of all the works I have submitted. If you have a GST number for your business as an artist, click this off. If you don't, say, no, I don't collect GST for my business as an artist. And then finally confirm if you will be dropping off your artwork yourself or if a friend will be dropping it off for you. If someone else is going to drop off your work for you, I encourage you to make sure that they know what it is they're dropping off, because we confirm with you at the drop off how many pieces they are, if they're the same, and match up to what you submitted through the online form. So if there's any confusion, then we want to correct it. Just make sure if you're not the one dropping off your artwork, make sure the person who does know exactly what it is that they're giving us. And make sure you click submit, and you should get the confirmation message right there. Okay, and then I'm just going to return to the guidelines briefly. Now that we completed our entry form, as I mentioned, I'm going to send my photos via email. Make sure you know how to rename your photos. So here we mentioned that it's important to double check that all of the information you entered is correct, because this is how we print our labels for the exhibition. If something doesn't apply to you, leave the fields blank, just click next. Ensure that we have your full name. If you have one name that you use for your artwork and another one we need to make the checkout to, make sure that on the artwork label information you include your artist name, and on the main information on the first page there, you include your legal name that we should make all checks out to. Make sure you provide photographs, and we have a number of ways you can do that. If you can, rename your images so that it makes it easier for us to match up the artworks and the images. All right, so we're going to talk about how to prepare 2D wall-based works. This shows us here how to attach hanging wire and D-rings. My advice is to look at the pictures, but not exactly follow along with the words. When I looked at the words here, I found them a bit confusing, the words that are on the side of the photograph here. And to make sure that your hanging wire is not going to come too close to the top of the frame. So I'm actually just going to play a little video of me. So if you are putting 2D wall work into the Art Gallery of Regina's members show and sale, you want to properly prepare the artwork for hanging. Our exhibition is hung by a lot of amazing volunteers, and we need to make it as easy as possible for them. So this means for an artwork like this, so this is a painting on canvas and it has a wooden stretcher. So you want to attach your D-rings and a hanging wire to the back of the painting. So D-rings look like this. If got a little hole for your screw to go through and a loop at the top for the wire to go through. You might want to place this between a half to a third of the way down from the top of the painting. You want to make sure that your hanging wire does not come to the top or over the top of the painting. You don't want it to be sticking out, your wire to be sticking out over top of your painting when it's hung on the wall. And I've already started this one, so I've already got one of the D-rings attached there with a screw, and I've started my hanging wire. So I'm going to do the other side now. You do want to make sure that your D-rings are level, so use a tape measure. I've already measured out the spot that I want. You can see I also have some paper down here just to protect the surface on the front of the painting. You could use craft paper, you could use a blanket or cloth, as long as it's clean, and that way you'll protect the front of your painting from getting scratched. Okay, so what I did here is I used a drill bit to drill a pilot hole. I used a fairly small bit, 7/16 of an inch. I wanted to use something that would be around the size of the shank of the screw that I'm using, but not as large as the threads of the screw. So it's just going to make sure that this wood doesn't crack when I put the screw in, but still gives the screw something to bite into. Also, it's important to be careful in a situation like this. You can see that my drill bit went through and I did touch the back of the canvas. You don't want to go right through and punch a hole through your painting, so just use care. Okay, so now I've got my driver bit, I've got my screw, and the screw is both a very short screw because this stretcher bar isn't very wide. And also the screw has a head that's big enough that it won't slip right through the D-ring. Great, so now I have my two D-rings on the back of my wall work, and now I'm just going to go through the steps again of attaching the wire. I don't have a coated hanging wire here, but the Art Gallery of Regina does prefer coated hanging wires because non-coated wires can mark our walls, almost like as if you took a pencil and drew right over it. So you're going to loop it through the D-ring, loop it back around, and loop it through again. I made a little mistake there. You loop it from one side and then back through from the other side. Okay, and I'm actually going to tighten this up a little bit because it is getting quite close to popping up over the top of the frame. So there. tight. And then once you've got that tightened down, then you're gonna wrap the tail end of your wire carefully all around. And you can see the other side that I've done there. So you wanna make sure that you know, when somebody's hanging it, they're not gonna poke their fingers, especially if you're using a braided wire like this. So you're gonna wanna use your pliers or pinchers there to just kind of twist that in, those ends in nice and tight so that they're not sticking out and they're not gonna poke anyone. So I'm not gonna finish this here, but you can see from what I've done there. And then when the full weight of the painting is hanging on here, you see it's not going to come up over the top here. You'll also see that I've started to put the labels on this artwork, so I'll go on to labeling. All of your artworks must be tags. Tags are available on the drop-off day for anyone who has forgotten or made errors on their tags. We have a printable version of the Art Gallery of Regina's tags on our Members Show and Sale webpage. You need to complete the online form and tag all your artworks. So not just one or the other, and the information needs to be the same between the labels that you apply to your work and what you entered in the online form. If you want to pick up some printed copies of the labels before the drop-off day, we do have some at the gallery. You're welcome to take those. Most artworks require only one label. The exception would be for wall works. Wall artwork labels, we need two, and there's a very good reason for this. So we have one that should be attached to the hanging wire by the string so it can hang over to the front, and then we can later flip it over to the back where no one will see it. And that is because the gallery prints its own official labels for all the artworks, but everything that's hanging on the wall, if the label's on the back, we won't be able to see it, and we don't want to mess up everything that we took care of putting up to check the label on the back. That's why we have the one attached to the string there. So you can see there's two labels, one that's going to be always on the back of your artwork and one that's going to be attached by a string to your hanging wire that can flip over to the front. And I will play you a video now about how to attach your label. So labeling your artwork is really important to helping us ensure that the member show and sale goes smoothly. The most complicated labels to make are those for the works that will hang on the wall, and I'll show you those first. We do have a label template. You don't have to use ours, but you can. It's a PDF that you can download and print from our website, www.artgalleryofregina.ca, or we have some printed copies and you can come pick some up at the gallery. For works that hang on the wall, you need two labels. One label gets affixed firmly to the back of your artwork. This one's taped here, and it should be taped firmly enough that it's going to stay there. If you just stick it in behind the stretcher bar, that may not stay, that may not be the best solution. The other label gets tied to your hanging wire. And this one is perhaps just a little bit on the long side. I'll shorten it up just a little bit. And this serves a specific purpose. So one of your labels is going to stay there so that we can keep track of your artwork even after it comes down off the wall. But when we make our labels for artwork in the gallery, we need to match our labels up with your artworks, and we won't be able to see the back because it'll be hanging on the wall. So that's why you have this one, where you should have it on your string so that it can hang over to the front and we can see your name, the artwork title, the price, etc. when it's hanging in front. Then, once we've got all our labels up, we can easily flip it over to the back and it'll be hidden out of sight. So that's how you do the label for your wall works. Okay, and now I'm going to go back to our guidelines here and go on to the next page in the guidelines. So this is how to tag your works on paper. So works on paper need to be backed with cardboard or foam core and wrapped in plastic. One artwork label tag is required for artworks on paper, and attach the tag to the back of the cardboard inside the plastic. One of the things I get asked about a lot is how to prepare your artworks to be sold in the unframed works on paper category. And this is a bin where the artworks are loose for browsing. So sort of like how we used to be able to leaf through record albums in a record store. So I've got a little bit of an example here to show you. I've got a photograph, so that's an unframed artwork on paper. And I've got a piece of, cardstock. It's not the heaviest card in the world, and I do recommend a smooth card, so not corrugated cardboard, which can actually easily bend where the corrugations are, because this is supposed to give some stiffness so that when people are leafing through, they're not going to bend your work on paper. So this will just provide a little bit of extra thickness. You don't need to attach your unframed work on paper to the card backing in any way. It's just there to provide some stiffness. Now we also require that these artworks are wrapped in plastic. So I have a plastic sleeve here. This is the type of thing that say people who collect comic books would have to put their comics into, and that's a really great size for a photograph like this one, which is an 8x10. And anytime I try and do something on camera, it just doesn't work. So you can slide your photograph and your card backing in. There's two ways that you can label your unframed work on paper. You can slip your label inside the plastic, like that, and we can still see the label through the plastic there. The other thing you could do is you could close up or seal up your plastic. And tape your artwork label to the outside of your plastic. So the Art Gallery of Regina doesn't print our official gallery labels for unframed works on paper, usually because as long as you've got a label either inside the plastic or taped to the outside of the plastic, this is going to be sufficient. But please make sure it's well attached, it's not going to fall off. So if I was going to put this one in the show and sale, I'd actually make sure that I taped all the corners so that it's not going to fall off and the label won't be sitting in the bottom of the bin and nobody knows that this photograph is only $15. You also don't need to use a sleeve. You can use clear cellophane, so not plastic wrap. It'll have a stiffer texture, not like cling film that's all stretchy. And you can buy that at a lot of art supply and craft stores. And you could just cut a sheet that's the right size, fold it to cover the entire front and back of your artwork, and then just tape it into place on the back. I do have a roll of cellophane wrap here. So this is like what florists use to, or what you would use to wrap a gift basket. And it is just this, very kind of crinkly, stiff, transparent plastic. And then you could just cut this and fold it over and tape it so that it's encasing your entire work on paper. And I do have a couple of rolls of it here at the gallery. So if you're someone with artworks on paper and you're not sure how to pack it up or how to get some cellophane wrap, I have a little bit here. I'm going to go back to our members show and sale guidelines. And the next mention there is how to label your table work. So this just needs one label on the back, firmly attached. So as I mentioned in the video there, don't just tuck it in behind the stretcher bar. Make sure that it's taped or somehow fastened into place more securely. And for pedestal works, you can attach your tag in the way that makes the most sense. So for sculpture, functional ceramics, things like that, you can put a label on the bottom, tape it on the bottom. For textiles and jewelry, you might like to have a tag that is attached by a string, a thread, or even a sticker. And there's some illustrated examples there. Of course, you can make your own label or use ours, but make sure that the label has the artist name, the title of the artwork, dimensions, materials, and the price. But we do have minimum and maximum prices. So the minimum artwork price is $15, maximum price is $800. Those minimum and maximum prices apply to artworks before taxes. Don't include taxes in your price. The gallery will add the taxes in for you. When pricing your artwork, we suggest you consider the labor and materials you have invested in your artwork, including the framing, what people are likely to pay for artwork, how other show and sale participants are pricing their artwork, and that 30% of artwork sales go to support the Art Gallery of Regina. On that note, the Member Show and Sale is one of the Art Gallery of Regina's most important fundraising events. The Art Gallery of Regina is a charity that serves the public through free, publicly accessible exhibitions and events, affordable workshops, and more. 30% of proceeds from the Members Show and Sale directly support the Art Gallery of Regina's charitable activities. By submitting your work to the Members Show and Sale, you agree to contribute 30% of your sales to the Art Gallery of Regina. If you choose, you can donate a larger percentage. The Art Gallery of Regina handles all sales for the duration of the Member Show and Sale. Artworks that are in the Member Show and Sale should not be sold by the artist elsewhere, nor should the artist take payment for artworks during the event. So all payments go through the gallery. The Art Gallery of Regina mails checks for the balance of proceeds to the artists. Please understand that due to many factors, checks can take 4 to 6 weeks to arrive. We total everything up at the end of the Member Show and Sale. And then because we are a registered charity, we have quite a process to go through. I add up and request check that our bookkeeper makes checks for the artists. I also make the charitable tax receipt for the 30% or more that artists have donated to the gallery. And when we get the checks back from our bookkeeper, we need to have 2 signatories on our bank account sign off on every check. So it's not like a personal check. We need to have 2 people who are authorized to sign every check. Artists receive a charitable tax receipt for the donated portion of artwork sales, which is 30%, and a check with the balance 70% of the sale proceeds. We remit GST to artists who have provided us with their GST numbers or clicked off the box, yes, I collect GST for my business as an artist, on the Member Show and Sale submission form. Please do not calculate GST or PST into your price when you price your work. The gallery will do that. Due to the high volume of sales, we can't notify artists of their sales until after the show and sale closes. However, we do update our web store as items are sold. So if you want to know if something has sold, I recommend that you check the Member Show and Sale art store on our website. For privacy reasons, we cannot legally share purchaser information. We ask that you include a business or thank you card on the back of your artwork or somehow attached so that buyers can contact you. And now we'll go on to photographing your work. I know this causes lots of folks some anxiety. So let me say first that Phones are so good now. Phone photographs are some of the best quality photographs that we expect. The online sales page is an invaluable supplement to the gallery exhibition, allowing those who cannot visit in person opportunities to view and purchase artworks online. For that reason, submitting photographs of your artwork is essential. Submit images that show your work to the best advantage. So we have some little illustrations there showing good and bad examples. So your photos should be taken straight on. So especially important for two-dimensional work, you don't want it to appear a different shape rather than square or rectangular. Be evenly lit. Represent colors faithfully. Do not use filters. Not have glare. This is especially important for artwork that is under glass. So we recommend photographing artworks before you place them into a frame that has a glass front or other glass enclosures because they do cause glare and it's really difficult to get a photograph that shows the entire artwork. Don't take blurry photographs. Don't include too much wall behind your artwork. Basically, crop your photographs to the edges of the artwork. Your artwork should be straight, so not distorted, not crooked. And photograph against a neutral, non-distracting background. You don't want anything to detract from your artwork. And finally, show the entire artwork. In the case of 3D work, take the best shot of the best angle. We can include 2 photographs of 3-dimensional work, but I would not recommend giving us any more than 2 photographs of one artwork, even then, only if really necessary. For instructions on how to share your photos through Google Drive or WeTransfer, see our Member Show and Sale webpage. And then we have some examples of photographed work by some of our previous board members. On the left, a sculpture by Patrick Fernandez. It looks extremely professional, but he just had a blank sheet of white paper that he placed behind it. He taped the one edge of the paper up to the wall, made a slight curve, and put the sculpture down on top of the paper on a flat surface. So it looks like a real nice photographer's white scrim. And there's also a photograph of, I think, charcoal on paper by Madison Pascal. I think I can see that that's even in a plastic wrapping, but she's done a really good job of showing us the entire image. So it's not being obscured or distorted by the reflective wrapping on it. There's some online tutorials for how to photograph your work. As always, please get in touch if you have any questions. Sometimes we get the question, where will the show be? The Art Gallery of Regina hosts our member show and sale both online and in person in the Art Gallery of Regina's main gallery space. All members are automatically included in both online and in-person exhibitions. So we will check if you did happen to be one of the few folks who checked off the box, no, I don't want to be in the online exhibition, we will remove your work from that. We have upgraded our online sales platform to be even easier to navigate, making it straightforward for our community to engage with your works. And we have a photograph of one of our previous member show and sales, what it looks like installed in the gallery, and one of the previous sale pages, so what that sale page looks like. If you have not been to the Art Gallery of Regina before, we are inside the Neil Balkwell Civic Arts Center at 2420 Elphinstone Street. The nearest intersection is College Avenue and Elphinstone Street in Regina. We have accessible parking at the front and back doors. All parking in our parking lots is free. And this is especially important for artwork drop-off day. If you have something big and heavy to bring in, there's 2 accessible parking stalls between the garbage and recycling bin at the back door to the gallery. And we'll have some dollies here as well for anyone who needs to load and dolly in from those doors. Otherwise, there are also 2 accessible stalls that are parallel to the sidewalk where the path leading to our front door is. So you're welcome to use all of those spots on the artwork drop-off day. And the Art Gallery of Regina is always a free admission gallery. The member show and sale is one of the reasons that we can pay artists to exhibit their artwork, have a professional staff that treats all artists and visitors with care. Our hours are Tuesdays through Thursdays, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., Fridays and Saturdays from 1 to 5. We've made a little map of the location. So this is just a shot I took of the Google map. So you can see Elphinstone Street there. That's where the bus stop is. These two icons here note the accessible parking and loading zones. So this is the one I mentioned at the back door to the building. And there's our garbage can and recycling bin there. And at the front door, by the path that goes up to the front door, there's two accessible stalls that are parallel to the sidewalk. And that is it for member show and sale info. I really hope that you will participate in the member show and sale this year. And if you're not participating as an artist, we also invite you to check out the work in person and online, and especially to celebrate these artists and their amazing contribution to our community. At the opening reception, which is Saturday, April 12th from 1 to 4, we'll have treats and we'll have hot coffee and tea and some specialty drinks for you to enjoy. Hopefully the weather will be beautiful and you can also enjoy the beautiful weather out in our open air courtyard. And once again, I'm Sandee Moore, Director Curator of the Art Gallery of Regina. I appreciate your support and hope to see you at the member show and sale.